In a world where most people watch movies and then forget about them, these brave heroes join forces to watch them again and then talk about them. Join them in their epic journey as they go back in time, a decade and beyond, to revisit and break down films from a vast array of genres. Do these movies hold up over time? Are they classics? Find out on Retro Movie Roundtable. Starring your hosts, Bryan Frye, Chad Robinson, Dustin Melbartis, Lizzie Haynes, and Russell Guest. Coming now to headphones in your ears.
Welcome all you lords, ladies, and knights of the Retro Movie Roundtable to the podcast where we watch movies and then talk about them. I'm your host, Chad Robinson, and joining me today is my good friend and co-host, Bryan Frye. Still trying to catch up with daylight saving time.
Yeah. This has been a really weird day. I went over to a buddy's house and none of his clocks were changed. So I've literally just been living in yesterday's time.
Yeah, in a time warp, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, and we are returning a guest from the Parent Trap episode. So coming to you from Ashfield, North Carolina, returning again, our special guest, Ainslie Caswell. Ainslie, welcome back.
Hello. Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, thank you for shortlisting a ton of fun movies. We're going to talk about one that may have some creatures of habit. So our warm-up question, we're talking about those habits. Maybe not returning to the Winchester pub, but Ainslie, what's a movie that you keep coming back to again and again?
Something that's on repeat and I think is seasonally appropriate to mention now might be Hocus Pocus.
Okay, you're one of those. Yeah.
I'll put it on any time of year.
Okay, that is a movie I missed in childhood, and I really think you need to hit it in childhood. If you see it as an adult, I'm just like, I don't get this.
Yes.
My wife's is very similar. Hers is Practical Magic.
Yeah, that's another
She
great
absolutely
one.
loves that movie.
I've never seen that one.
Oh, highly recommend it.
Absolutely.
It's a good film.
I'll
Other
bookmark
than
it.
The Battle of Pelennor Fields, Bryan, what's something you return to over and over again?
Oh, it was actually a dealer's choice, but most of the time when I'm really I need comfort watching, I watch Ronin with De Niro.
Okay.
I really enjoy that movie.
Just got to get that car chase in.
Yeah, it's got great bones, great acting. I like the European nature of it. Born before born.
Okay.
So.
All right. I like it. We are recording 2 days after Halloween, but I watch the movie Trick or Treat just on loop. It doesn't really matter. I'll watch it February, April. Doesn't matter. Perfect movie. And so that's actually going to be my most recent movie as well, was watching Trick or Treat. So we will throw that question out, though, to Ainslie. What's the most recent movie that you saw?
Oh, I'm sure I should know this. Does the Biggest Loser documentary count?
I don't see why not.
Yeah.
That's going to be pretty messed up. I know they do some questionable things on the show.
Yeah, there was a lot of information there. Yeah, reality TV has devolved into something that I think all of us could have predicted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bob and Jillian being shady.
Yes.
Okay. Bryan, how about you? What's your most recent movie?
It's the one I texted you about. Jess and I watched Late Night with the Devil.
Okay. Bryan just leaves me hanging. He's like, have you seen Late Night with the Devil? And I said, I loved it. Then there's no further addition to this conversation, like any context, whatever. It's just left hanging and he moves on to whatever Instagram reel.
Yeah, you got to get the next clip.
I still don't have Instagram. I cannot watch these. It doesn't show up. I'm old.
I was that person for a while. And now you have to be an Instagram person to be able to get everything that is on TikTok.
You are not selling this for me at all.
Oh, God.
I am so old. But yeah, Bryan sends these things to me, and I'm just like, I would love to laugh along with you, but I'm just never going to download this. You keeps doing it though, several times a day.
Yeah, well.
So I'm sorry, buddy. I just don't respond. But you liked Late Night with the Devil?
Oh, I loved it. It was fantastic. I it's kind of like what Dustin was talking about the other day. It's like you start to forget, how much you enjoy found footage movies, and you're like, all right, and then something reminds you. It was I don't know. I thought it was a very well-rounded horror film, and I always mess up his name, but David Duxmalian is
Yes.
one of the creepiest individuals. He was in a show that got thoroughly canceled after one season that I thought had really, really good potential. It was a Hulu show that's no longer on Hulu even, but the show is called Reprisal, and he plays this almost Doc Hollywood kind of character where, very unassuming, but he ends up being probably the best fighter of the bunch. And anyway, ever since I saw him in that, I've been a huge fan.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that was a big one for me. I really enjoyed it. But Brian, what movie are we going to talk about tonight?
Yeah, we're going to do Shaun of the Dead. Super
Okay.
pumped.
Awesome. Yes. This is starring Simon Pegg, Kate Ashfield, Lucy Davis, Nick Frost, of course, with Simon Pegg, Dylan Moran, Bill Nighy, and Penelope Wilton. This was released in 2004. Budget astronomically low, $6 million. It only grosses 13.6 domestically. I'm pretty sure it's going to make it back in the years following. It gets number 128 in the box office for that year. Movie that placed ahead of it was New York Minute, and right behind it was Envy. The number one movie that year was Shrek 2. If you like that movie, check out our original episode 189 for the Shrek movie with myself and Lizzie. IMDb gives this a 7.8. Rotten Tomatoes, critics love it. 92% for a zombie film. That is unusual.
Yeah.
93% audience score, so universal praise. Wins a ton of awards. British Comedy Awards winner for Best Comedy. Gets 2 BAFTA nominees for Best British Film and Most Promising Newcomer. Saturn Award winner for Best Horror Film. Empire Awards winner for Best British Film. Bram Stoker Awards winner for Best Screenplay, and then 4 Fangoria Chainsaw wins for Best Wide Release, Best Actor, Best Supporting Actor, and Best Screenplay. No AFI distinctions. Come on, AFI. Put that on this list. Ainsley, this was your short list. We picked it off of it. Have you seen Shaun of the Dead before? And if you have, what's it like coming back to it?
Yes, I have. But I feel like I did miss it the first time around. I didn't see it when it first came out. And so I feel like I discovered it, and this was maybe a rediscovery. I don't think I'd seen it in 3 or 4 years. And seeing it as a suggestion for you guys to kind of restudy it more intently was very cool. And to look at it more analytically was a nice way to view it for the choices that it makes and realize that it sets a bar in a genre that's very narrow.
Yeah. Yeah. So, did you enjoy it the first time you saw it?
Yeah, I did because I didn't realize what it was, and
Oh,
I
really?
I had no idea what it was. I didn't realize that it was any sort of I didn't realize that there was a comedy horror genre really before I came into Shaun of the Dead, period. So I think when I heard of it, because Dawn of the Dead is what it is, I think I thought that Shaun of the Dead was some sort of related um, horror spin-off. I didn't realize that it was a spoof or sorry, I didn't realize that the name was just a spoof in itself and that it wasn't just a horror movie. I didn't realize that comedy horror was a genre. And so when I saw it, I was so appreciative and I was almost relieved because at the time I didn't like horror the way I do now. And so when I saw it, I was appreciative and thankful, and then more thankful that it wasn't horrible. Does that all make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. So this was like gateway drug into horror for you. I love that.
A little bit. Maybe it makes sense that several years later I did like a full nosedive into horror after a full adulthood of a big aversion. I stayed away from most horror and then launched myself face first into it. My partner, my long-term partner was very confused.
Just one day, a light switch has been turned on. It's like you're
I think
chilling
he
on the
thought
couch.
I think he thought I
Exorcist.
was possessed. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think he thought that some evil thing had overtaken me and I was bringing it into our living room through the television or
that is
through
fantastic.
Netflix or something. I was like bringing evil spirits in through Netflix, not sponsored. And they were like he's like, "Why are you watching all these films? They were terrifying you a few years ago." So, but anyway, I guess like bringing in the comedy horror genre into my life and seeing that one first almost spoils the rest
Yeah,
because that
it's a
one's
high bar.
yeah, this one's so good. This one's so good.
That's excellent. Well, Brian, I know you've seen this before. I think we've seen it together at some
Yeah,
point.
yeah, definitely. I will say I don't watch it nearly enough. It's kind of one of those things that when it gets brought up, I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't seen that in a while. But every time I get an opportunity, it's definitely on the queue. I actually really like the horror comedy genre. Cabin in the Woods is really what did it for me, got me hooked on that, and this one certainly doesn't disappoint.
I mean, I'm old school with comedy horror, and I would go Gremlins. Like, Gremlins is one of my favorite movies of all time. But yeah, this certainly helps the zombie lands and the cabin in the woods later. Uh, and George Romero did love this movie, so he brought that
Yeah.
up as maybe part of the Dead series. He was flattered by this movie. I saw this not in theaters, not unlike most of people, judging by the box office there, but I saw it pretty shortly afterwards. I feel like maybe the Halloween season that followed that, I wound up seeing this movie. I really like zombie movies, so I'll search those out and try and find them. This one, I don't know that I fully understood that it was going to be a British comedy. So my brain was kind of set for a different type of comedy than what this one is. This one's a whole lot smarter than I think most of the movies are trying for. And it's better shot. Like there's a lot of interesting things going on. So I loved it then. I actually dressed as Shaun for a work Halloween party, and everybody went around going, "You've got red on you," which was just fantastic. Like everyone got the joke, and so it it's gotten popular enough that people recognize just a white shirt and a red tie with a little red stain on it. So I think that's fun for the zeitgeist. But if you haven't seen Shaun of the Dead, please, please, please go check it out. Put us on pause, watch the movie. Brian is going to spoil it after this advertisement break.
Welcome to the All 80s Movies Podcast.
I'm Bill.
And I'm Jason. And this is the podcast where we talk about the blockbusters, the flops, and everything in between from one of the freshest decades for movies, the 1980s. So whether you're a brain, a jock, a valley girl, or a Jedi, we've got some 80s classics for you.
Do these movies stand the test of time? Are we discovering something new? Is there an 80s movie we're finally watching for the first time?
Join us each week as we dive into the cinematic nostalgia that inspired and influenced a generation. From the hits to the cult classics, we'll discuss our earliest memories, favorite scenes, fun facts, and our not-so-favorite movie moments too.
It's the All 80s Movies Podcast, now available on all major streaming platforms. Please subscribe and happy listening.
And we're back. Last warning before we spoil Shaun of the Dead, which Shaun breaks down himself in excruciating detail in the movie. But Brian, let us know what happens.
After Shaun realizes that London has been overrun by zombies, he and his best friend Ed set out on a chaotic rescue mission. They pick up Shaun's mom, Barbara, and stepfather Philip, then head to save his ex-girlfriend Liz and her flatmates, David and Diane. Philip, however, is bitten by a zombie during the escape and dies in Shaun's car, only to reanimate moments later, forcing Shaun to deal with him before continuing. The group finally reaches the Winchester Tavern, Shaun's favorite pub, which he sees as their safest refuge. Once inside, they barricade themselves and wait, hoping the military will arrive. Unfortunately, their sanctuary soon becomes a trap. The zombies discover them, and tensions within the group boil over, especially between Shaun and the skeptical, jealous David. As the undead close in, three things happen. Barbara reveals she was bitten earlier and turns into a zombie, forcing Shaun to kill his own mother. David loses it, tries to kill Shaun, and ends up being torn apart by zombies after breaking a window. And Diane runs Diane runs out after in grief and disappears into the horde. Eventually, only Shaun, Liz, and Ed are left. Ed is bitten during the final stand, so Shaun and Liz retreat to the cellar, ready to die together. Just as they contemplate suicide, Shaun finds an emergency lift that leads them to the outside, and the army arrives just in time to save them. 6 months later, society partially returned to normal. Zombies are now used as cheap labor or game show contestants, and Shaun and Liz are living together again, having rekindled their relationship. In the final scene, Shaun slips out of the shed. Shaun slips out to the shed in his backyard where zombified Ed is chained up, happily playing video games with him just like old times.
Man, like most of that summary makes this sound like a much more horrifying movie than what it necessarily is.
Well, I mean, this is the kind of movie that cracks me up when we choose to do it, because Russell's language constraints are like, it's desperately difficult not to throw whatever I want to say around. And even my best quote, I was like, can I find something without the F word in it? Like, this is tough.
I mean, just go to the Winchester until this all blows over.
Yeah.
Which came up a lot in 2020. I can remember the memes of, we'll all just head down to the Winchester. But yeah, it sounds far more serious than what's going on screen. But this is really about Shaun's journey. And I think my opening question is, how much of this for Shaun is about surviving zombies versus this man-child that he is growing up?
Overall, the plot becomes a metaphor for the development of a person by the world and society breaking down, and he is forced, instead of hiding at the Winchester until this all blows over the way that he usually does, instead of doing that, he is forced to break everything down and build up from nothing. And that's what the whole thing becomes. And the zombies that society becomes are the manifestation of the fear of every single fear that he has about his being and who he truly is.
Yeah, he's got that leadership meeting because the boss doesn't show up, and the one employee that's just like messing on his cell phone. Bryan, you've got those, right?
Yeah. It can happen. You know,
Bryan's giving his morning huddle and rally speech, go team. And
you know, I try to steer clear of that. It's more of a individual boost at this point, and try to take a minute to talk to each person and see where their head's at and that sort of thing. But yeah, dude, whenever I see it in movies, those little like rah morning circle kind of whatever you want to call it, it's just like, oh gosh, that just gives you the shivers. Like, I don't want to do that.
Not writing this and
I don't want to
down in your notebook.
Yeah, it's like, that's not where I want to be.
Oh. I mean, you like the man-child type movies. Grandma's Boy comes to mind.
Yeah. Oh gosh. And you know, the funny thing about Grandma's Boy in comparison to this one, I think Shaun knows what his problems are and he's partially ashamed of them. I absolutely love the confidence of your main character in Grandma's Boy, where he's like, "Yeah, I chose to play video games for for a living. It's a pretty cool life."
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Isn't that Nick Swardson?
Yes.
Yeah.
I still have not seen the full film, and I kick myself for it because I really like him. I really like Nick Swardson, so I still
It is truly a hilarious movie.
Yeah.
It's basically the entire Adam Sandler crew without Adam Sandler. So
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But you're right about Shaun. Like, he writes down on the fridge, get life together. Like, he's got those
Right.
3 things to do. And I forget what the first one is, but it's get Liz back and get life together.
yeah,
and so he knows, yeah, I've got to grow up. And his wardrobe even symbolizes that. Like, whenever he gets hit in the head with a dart, he winds up taking off that tie and putting it around his head, goes into like full Rambo mode, and then people start listening to him. We do have his man-child best friend in Ed. So what makes their dynamic believable or maybe unbelievable? Like, are you being friends with somebody like Ed?
They reinforce each other in some of the classic childhood tropey ways, but also the small personal ways that I think we all know from real life. Like, they reinforce each other in the good ways, like they fill each other's gaps, but they also reinforce each other's negative aspects and support each other's bad habits.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's for
certainly.
sure. Is he dragging him down? Like, is Ed actually a bad friend? Is he someone that Shaun needs to cut off?
He's both. He's a good friend and a bad friend, and you see that right away in those interactions. And I think that's why when we watch that, we can identify with that, because we have those friends that we know support our bad habits, but then are also there for us when we need and want support. So we don't want to let them go. And we don't have a great excuse to let them go either, because if we did, who's going to defend us and support us in those times? And so it's really tough.
Bryan, bad friends that get you in trouble?
I think sometimes I've been that bad friend that gets you in trouble. So it's
I'm looking straight at you. Yes.
I don't know. I would say that you obviously have to address something being a complete and total drain on you. Obviously, if it's affecting your personal life, if it's affecting your finances, questionable legality on a daily basis. There's such thing as being a good friend and then being the friend that says, "Hey, you really need to go do this somewhere else." So, I don't think I have, this is obviously a really drastic example of how something like this could happen. But yeah, I don't think I've ever actually seen anything to this degree in real life.
It's definitely played up for comedy, but I do
Sure.
like the sales.
But I bet, the reason stuff like this is comedic is because it's true in some people's lives. Like, I am certain, maybe not as humorous as this is, but I assure you there's probably a roommate somewhere that's like, "Oh God, kill me. This is just what's happening to me."
100%. Yeah. I mean, the Pete's conversation with Shaun about he hasn't sold anything in months. He sold some weed. It's like, that was me 5 years ago.
That's real. That's real. I've seen it.
Yeah. And Bryan, you mentioned at the end, Shaun and Liz, like, this is Shaun's motivation, is getting his life back together and winning Liz back. Is their relationship actually going to be stronger after this apocalypse, or are they just kind of like trauma bonded? I mean, has Shaun really changed?
I kind of compare this to a line from, this is just going to be weird, but it's a line from Speed 2 Cruise Control, where Sandra Bullock continuously brings up that relationships based on extreme circumstances rarely work out. referring to herself in Keanu Reeves from Speed 1. So that's kind of how I look at everything now. It's like every time I see a movie where, they get together after surviving the terrible traumatic event, it's like, you guys don't really even know that much about each other. You survived something. Like, that's it. So I think it's true to a degree.
I did not expect Speed 2.
Speed 2, man. Cruise control.
Who wrote that? Because it is profound. Honestly, I think I might put it on a pillow because it's very relevant to everything and this, I have to say.
Yeah, truly. And the funny thing about the whole lot of it is truly that's stuck with me for so long, because I'm like, gosh, every movie has like the two people get together in the end after surviving the thing. That's a very solid point.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's every James Bond film.
Exactly. And clearly it never ends up working out for him. So
It does not.
at least not until later.
And they never explain why, do they?
No.
No.
I mean, you're just like, James.
I mean,
Jimmy.
Oh, James.
Vespa's the only one we get any kind of closure on.
Well, I mean, he ends up having a kid with what's her name? Spoilers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
just let that one fly.
There you go. Well, there are bigger spoilers in that movie that you could talk about. So
that's true.
That's fine.
True.
Ainsley, are you thinking Shaun and Liz work out? Like,
Absolutely not.
No,
I never have. I just always thought, I did think that was kind of the one thing that was wrong with this movie was like, now that's silly. That's silliness.
You don't. No growth in Shaun other than just like survive this scenario.
No, it's not even that. It's not even, I don't want to put it all on him. I more am leaning towards kind of the ethos of like the foundation of this is not great. Just like, it's too slippery and don't even, just be friends.
Okay. All right.
Give each other a high five.
Especially once you realize that he's keeping Zombie Ed in a shack in the back so they can play Xbox together. It's like, okay, maybe he was really, Shaun was more of a enabler than we thought.
Yeah, and also, do they ever really address whether or not that's a secret?
It seems like it, yeah.
That's not really answered, I don't think, and I have questions about that.
Like Shaun of the Dead 2 is 100% Ed gets out and reinfects everyone. I mean, it's got to be. Like, that's just how that's going to happen.
That's correct.
Oh, we had that 28 days later moment. What was it, like 2 weeks ago, where the truck with disease-riddled monkeys that were, they escaped. There was like 40 of them, and they wound up hunting down 39, but one eluded everybody. They infected him with COVID, and I want to say there was like hepatitis, but there was like 3 different things, and the people were saying, these monkeys are aggressive. Going, yeah, I've seen 28 days later. This is how it starts.
This is how it happens.
It's happening. It's happening. The rage. Yeah, the police released something. It was like, if the monkeys leave the area, they will be executed or whatever, disposed of. I'm like, how do you inform the monkeys of that? I don't know how you post that
quickly.
Well, see, now I'm going to bring up another deep cut here. They inform the monkeys because they've been using Deep Blue Sea Level brain enhancement techniques, and it's actually Planet of the Apes meets Outbreak.
That's the other movie that was on my mind was the newer Planet of the Apes. I'm like, oh great. So Caesar is now this COVID infected angry monkey who's escaped and is going to avenge his 39 friends. That is a huge rabbit hole. Okay. Our other survivors, we have David and Diane. David is our jealous, I don't know how to, smug, does not like Shaun. And Diane she seems sweet. She doesn't seem to have a ton of character, but she does seem very interested in David, who is at least casually interested in her. Is David the worst person you know?
I think more of us probably know a David than we know an Ed.
Yes.
Like David is a thing in everyone's life. Everybody knows a David. So I think I just leave it with that.
That's true. They're just more common. They're more average. Like David is a more average guy. Uh, and similarly to Ed, Diane is more of an extreme, I think. Maybe that's just me. But Liz and David and even Shaun are a bit more average. And that's just my kind of quick take on that.
I feel like David really, really earned that death. Like, that is a gruesome death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it escalated quickly. It got there, and you're right, maybe well deserved.
A Diane going out charging with David's leg to just smack all the zombies. I love that.
Got aggressive
That is good.
quickly.
I watched that with my wife, who is very gore averse, and I forgot. Like it's been a couple years since I've seen this movie, and I forgot just how gory it can be. And it's silly gore; it's not Saw level or anything like that. But yeah, when they're ripping out the intestines and everything else as they drag him out the window, I'm like, "Yep, she's kind of burying her head in the pillow." Um, but the sounds, you can't escape the sounds.
They very comically went after that scene too. Like his evisceration is
Yeah.
so wonderfully over the top.
They get a bit squishy with it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And lastly, our survivors, or I guess they don't wind up surviving, we have Philip and Shaun's mom, Barbara, who have like this polar opposite relationship with Shaun himself. Barbara's this doting, loving mother, and Philip is this disappointed stepfather. Uh, does their untimely ends actually have an impact, or is this just kind of adding to the body count for you?
I honestly, this is like an additional little treat. I love their storyline that gets added, the whole Philip Barbara thing. It escalates this plot line, but these are such good extra actors and almost little B plot things that drive the story forward with him suddenly discovering that his mother's going to die, but it's also this kind of comical escalation too. It really changes the tone of the movie and quickly. The stakes get really high really quick. I remember seeing the part where it changes everything, where he realizes his mother is infected. That was really a turning point when I first saw the film. The first time I ever saw the film, that was a big, like, hit in my chest for me, where I realized what kind of film this was. And that, yeah, and it's still kind of, when you look at people, when you show it to them, is this the kind of movie that you show to others?
I
And
hope so, yeah.
yeah, and if I ever show this movie to somebody, that's the moment where I will look at them and want to know how they react to it, is when
Oh, okay.
he discovers that his mother is infected, and
All right.
he realizes what is going to happen next.
And David, being the worst person we know, is actually correct in that scene. He's like, you have to shoot her in the head, but
Yeah,
you don't you don't have to do that. Everyone acknowledges, they're like, yes, David, you're right, but also shut up.
unfortunately, yes.
Bryan, what do you think about the not my dad and his mom?
It's good to establish that his character feels deeply. Like you have him basically obsessing over Liz. It's not really a clear cut feeling that, he's can't live without it. But I also assume that the mom and Philip are a crutch. So I think it's more of a painting of a picture of legs being kicked out from under his stool, or, the things that he's built himself on are being removed one at a time until finally he has to stand on his own.
Oh, that's interesting. I like that a lot. I think with Philip, like we kind of want him to die. He does have that redeeming moment in the car where he's essentially like, yeah, I was hard on you, but I've always loved you, and I don't even know that that's reciprocated from Shaun at all. Of
Shaun certainly wants him to die.
yeah,
I absolutely love Bill Nighy. He's one of my favorite actors.
Yes,
Like
agreed.
every time I see him in something, I'm like, yes.
This gives Bill Nighy so much room,
Yeah.
even in a brief period of time. So that's also a big plus for not just the role, but the fact it was given to him. It gives him so much space and range to just really go into it.
yeah. I love that scene with zombie Philip in the car where Shaun is just explaining to the mom, "There's nothing left of Philip," and then he clicks off the radio. Perfect. But yeah, I didn't care about Philip, but the
No,
mom
it's
dying
fine.
that
I
did hurt.
understand. I understand. Like his presence in it it was literally a cameo. I'm sure he was like, I really want to do something funny. You know what I mean? Right? And it just it's kind of like Love Actually. I would watch a spinoff just about Bill
That
Nighy's
guy.
character in Love Actually. Like if they made just that movie with him and his manager, like I
Yep.
would see that in a minute. So it's yeah, it's one of those things that I understand Shaun's point on it, but that's still it's the first domino to fall for him.
Hmm.
And each subsequent domino gets harder for him to gets closer to home or closer to the problem, and until he has to be there on his own.
Mhm.
So he has to put a very large shotgun hole through his mom's head.
Yeah.
That's rough. So coming back to this movie, I talked about it a little bit in the beginning, but Shaun literally spells out the plot point by point of what is going to happen. Since we've all seen this movie before and every big event is foreshadowed early on, does that make the story feel tight and clever, or is this just like, does it become predictable?
It's an artistic rendering. It's just the vehicle that the director chose to do it to be a little bit different, and I think it does. I mean, it succeeds at that goal because nothing else is quite like this.
Yeah, I think um kind of because of exactly things like those individual relationships, like with his mother and even Philip and Ed. You kind of don't see what's coming next, even though the larger analogy is there and very present. The individual choices are so well done, along with the details of the cinematography and the special effects. Everything in the details are very solid, so it doesn't distract you. And at the same time, it keeps you interested. All of that is working very well. And that's the reason it sets that bar, especially in the genre.
Yeah, I don't think I realized until I rewatched it this time that Shaun was doing that he was actually spelling out the exact plan and sequence of events that I was going to watch. And honestly, to me, that improves the movie. I almost like a movie that's bold enough to tell us this is what we're going to do, and you're still going to be really entertained. And how we get there is going to be the fun part. It's not so much the destination. So that's unique for this type of movie, and I like that quite a bit. And along the way, as we're going to these different locations, there's a lot of fun little gags that actually advance the plot. Is there a favorite visual joke, like the record throwing, the fence scene, or the bar fight with Don't Stop Me Now playing? Is there something that stood out to you that was your favorite scene?
I think the fight scene is the most impressive, like definitely visually.
The
And
synchronized groaning and pool cues.
Yeah,
yeah,
I love that.
it reads like it almost reminds me of the sword fighting in Kill Bill. It reminds me of like those kind of choreographed sequences. Um, and yeah, the same thing, just like the visuals in it are very like fine-tuned. Um, and everything together too, like the sound effects, like you said, that's all synchronized. And you notice that.
Yeah, they look like they're having an absolute blast. I wonder how many times they just retook that shot because they're bouncing around, smacking the zombies, and you get the groaning at the same time. It seems like they were just having the time of their life doing that.
Hmm.
Bryan, is there a particular gag that stood out to you?
I mean, that one was probably my favorite. Really, any time that they cleverly use a zombie's guttural moan as a vehicle for something funny in this is a win. Like, I enjoyed it every time. It never got old.
Even with Shaun, like the fake ones?
I'm not going to say every single one of them was like so hysterical that I'm like, oh, you just got to keep doing it. But it is something that brings charm to the film. You got to have some kind of reoccurring gag.
The one that moans at him, he's like, sorry, no change. Just moves on.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that could be said a little bit later and people would be on their cell phones. You could have this exact same scene. I have almost hit so many people just like deer. Actually, we did have one in college. There was somebody that ran into my car because they were on their phone and just tumbled over, glared at me, and then just got up and walked away. Like, okay. So we could have that now. This was a thing back in high school. Bryan will remember it. I like the fence jumping. That is fantastic.
Yes.
Of having to jump over all those neighborhood fences and then the trampoline at the end. It was a thing. We'd constantly lose our frisbee, and I would have to jump this fence to retrieve the frisbee.
Like
And there,
Ferris Bueller style.
yes, very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so. And there was a sign on our fence that said no fence jumping. But
Yeah, we all took a picture with it.
yes. And it disappeared one day and wound up in my collection somehow.
Weird.
Yeah.
So strange.
It's very strange how that happened. If you had to hole up somewhere like the Winchester for a disaster like this, is there a real life location that you would go to?
No, I don't. I don't think I would feel more comfortable anywhere else besides my house. I think in this scenario, but I also don't live in a townhouse. Like, there's not a whole lot strategically sound about where they would have held up any better than anywhere else. The Winchester, it does feel sturdy. English pubs do that. They have that vibe. It's old and wood. Seems like it can withstand a lot. But no, I think I'm just staying home.
Okay. Ainslie, where are you holding up?
Yeah, so my long-term goal is to build my own bunker
Love that.
because like everything is going to be on fire soon.
Yeah.
So uh and the
Already
bunker
there?
and I think the bunker is going to be in Iceland. So
Okay.
That's a good spot for it.
yeah, you'll I'll let you know. I'll let you know. You're invited.
Okay.
Cool.
So
This is
we'll try to stock some food. So that's the plan. That's where I'm going to be.
This is the Max Brooks zombie survival
Yeah.
guide.
And like
Right.
and no offense to the zombies. This is because of what like we've done to the world over the past like 40 years. That's because like everything's going to flood and stuff.
Mhm.
Pick
So
somewhere with low population density. Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be like half underground and stuff so I don't get set on fire, like et cetera, et cetera. That's all.
Mhm.
That's all.
I
NBD.
I don't know where I would go. Pro- it would not be my house, but I have a friend out in the country with like one of those absurd arsenals where he has more weapons than there are cows, and there are a lot of cows surrounding him. So I don't know what he plans on doing for it with all that, but it's helpful in a
You
zombie.
can't use all those, man. Let me
Right.
lend a hand.
Yeah,
Not at the same time, no.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to claim to have any great arsenal, but home is where the firearms are. So just stick in here.
I have one heirloom that is one of those powder loaded
like
rifles.
a black ball musket.
Exactly. So
That's
I can
phenomenal.
take down exactly one zombie every 5 minutes if I happen to hit straight on. So yeah.
I have a replica sword from Kill Bill.
Oh,
Nice.
I'm also
I
not.
do have a lot of swords.
I
Yeah.
swear I'm also not sponsored by Kill Bill because that's the second time I've mentioned it.
You've got the Hattori Hanzo sword. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
I'm
That's
not.
why Hanzo steel.
Yeah.
I mean, that's excellent. Brian's got the Lord of the Rings swords. I have
Yeah, I've
the
got
high
a couple.
sword.
Yeah.
So
Nice.
I mean, yeah, it works for Michonne in Walking Dead. So
I think hers is like a legit samurai sword, though. Like, I'd be worried. Like, I'm not sure how many swings I get before my stuff breaks.
oh no.
Yeah. I don't believe that mine's real or sharpened. That's the
Yeah.
thing. I might have the option to go. It's actual metal. I just don't think it's built
Right.
to be a weapon.
Right.
You've
Yeah,
got your
that
Cutco arsenal, which has taken
that's
out
true.
half of my family. He
Stuff's
sells
sharp. Yeah, man, they're knives, dude.
he sells them to my parents, who both dismembered themselves.
How what?
Sharp.
Yeah, these
Caution,
knives
sharp.
that Brian was selling.
Yes.
Was this college or
Yeah, I was
he would
back in
do?
high school. It
Yeah, he
was
would do
like my
demos,
first job.
slice a watermelon in half with these things.
It was.
Oh wait, you were one of those guys in college that sold knives?
Yeah. Well, I was in high school though.
Like the Cutco things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I know this.
Those things are super sharp, super dangerous, and like within a week, my mom just horrifically cuts off a large section of her thumb, and I don't think she used it again. And then my dad did the same thing with a different knife.
Well, Jess and I both have used the display stuff. It's I mean, I don't want to tick off like the Cutco gods or anything like that, but it's a little pyramid schemey, just a little bit.
You think?
But
They all are. That's
but
yeah.
we still have all of our display stuff that we used to show people, and they have been our knives for 25 years now. So
Yeah.
they
I
work.
I allegedly still have all of the intimate objects that I used to sell for the passion parties company that I worked for. Allegedly. Anyway,
They get really mad when you throw those on football fields now.
it's like illegal to dispose of them in garbage cans because they're hazardous waste or something,
Really?
That is also amusing.
I don't know.
How do you dispose of them?
You can send them to disposal companies. It's like on the internet and stuff.
Oh, can you just send them to my neighbor?
I also know where you can sell them to some guy in Utah.
Oh no.
Oh man.
Oh, I'm sad because that's definitely a thing. That is definitely a thing. All right. Well, this movie actually, it originates from an episode of Spaced, which is a Simon Pegg TV show. It was season 1, episode 3. Simon Pegg's character hallucinates a zombie attack. He was playing Resident Evil 2. And so Spaced actually, it stars Nick Frost as well. This is Edgar Wright project. And fun trivia fact is they're throwing those vinyl records. Every single vinyl record that's thrown at the zombies were actually from Simon Pegg's collection, with the exception of 2, the Stone Roses and the Second Coming. They do wind up damaging those 2, and so not Simon Pegg's, but everything else. I think that's fun that he was willing to put that up. This was done pretty cheaply, and most of the zombies were actually fans of this TV show, Spaced. They're paid £1 a day, and they get lunch to go around. I would do it. I mean, I was in Batman for a 5-hour energy, like Dark Knight Rises. They put us in winter coats in the middle of summer. So like, it's winter now. You're cold. It's 90 degrees. We're not. And got this Batman comic and a 5-hour energy. That's all we have to show for it. But they got paid $1. Simon Pegg and Nick Wright, or Edgar Wright, I was going to say Nick Frost, Simon Pegg, and Edgar Wright cameo as zombies in Land of the Dead. This was a thank you from George Romero because he was so flattered. So in 2005, he gives them those roles, and that's pretty cool. Our producer here is Nira Park. It's written by Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright. And Edgar Wright does quite a bit of funny things with Simon Pegg in particular. He starts off with A Fistful of Fingers, then Shaun of the Dead. So this is his second movie. Hot Fuzz, Scott Pilgrim versus the World, which we did cover in episode 66. He then co-writes with Simon Pegg The World's End, does Baby Driver, The Sparks Brothers, Last Night in Soho. I actually didn't know that was him. That's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying these credits right now. Like, just, it's like I knew most of this, but then I'm like, wow, when you say it all together like that, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and The Running Man, which just came out, right? Or is
Yeah,
coming
or
out?
it is coming out. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll probably be out by the time this episode comes. I will definitely see that. That
Yeah,
seems like...
I will too. I really like, and I always forget his name, the main guy for Running Man from Twisters and Top Gun Maverick.
Okay.
I'm just blanking on his name.
Yeah, I don't have it. He's also a writer for Attack the Block, which John Boyega's in that, Adventures of Tintin, Sightseers, and he's a writer and producer for Ant-Man in 2015. So Bryan, you're pretty happy. Ainslie, have you seen a lot of Edgar Wright's works here?
I am mostly familiar with Hot Fuzz and I think I've seen most of Scott Pilgrim, but not the whole thing. But I'm mostly just familiar with Hot Fuzz, and I haven't even seen the third movie as part of this trilogy.
Oh, The World's
So,
End.
yes.
It's a lot of
That
fun.
that one might actually be my favorite one.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, it might be.
I feel like
I-
Hot Fuzz gets put up there.
Hot Fuzz is
Hot-
an amazing film.
Yeah,
The
Hot Fuzz
shootout
is
is
funny.
incredible.
Yes. I don't know. It's tough. They are all special in their own way, but I think that one might be my favorite one.
I'm such a huge Scott Pilgrim fan. Like I
Yeah.
love that movie.
No, I just meant out of the three. I
Yeah.
don't mean out of everything. Baby Driver, easily.
okay.
Baby Driver was so much fun.
That's unsurprising from you. Yeah. Last Night in Soho was
Last Night in Soho's close.
fantastic too.
It's up there too.
Yeah. So great work. Looking forward to The Running Man. Our set design here, we talked about English pubs. The Winchester does not exist, sadly enough. I feel like if we would put the Winchester pub up somewhere in London, it would make a ton of money. Just put a fake gun, maybe real gun, over the bar. But its exterior is the Duke of Albany, which is in New Cross, London. It gets turned into flats. It's no longer a pub. Wardrobe, Shaun's red tie. That's a big thing. It's discarded once he finally steps up and becomes this leader. Our special effects. Did you guys notice the tone of this movie? Like the color palette changing as this movie went on?
Mm. Yes, yeah, very much so. It evolves a lot, like especially at the end, and comes like full circle.
Adds the bright colors back.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, it's Bryan.
Kind of reminded me of an episode of 24 in a way. Like, not a whole lot of time passes in this film, so I feel like it almost kind of takes you through this expression of a bad day.
Yeah, I didn't really notice until I watched the movie this time, but it starts getting grayer and Shaun gets more red on him as he goes through and gets bloodier. But things get grayer, take a darker tone as he starts becoming more and more capable. So it was interesting lighting choices. And then the soundtrack, we do have the coordinated pull cues and the groans to the "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen. Also, the song on the jukebox, the "If You Leave Me Now," that's by Chicago. It's the same song that Simon Pegg's character breaks up with his girlfriend to in Spaced. So if you're a fan of like a 2-season comedy of British comedy in the early 90s starring Simon Pegg, there's a lot of Easter eggs for you, I guess. I'm not really familiar with this. It's got funny people in it. I would definitely check it out. But seems like if you're a fan of that particular show, that you would have a really good time with some of the things they fit in here. You guys ready to hand out some awards?
Absolutely. I'd say one other thing. I've definitely not even scratched the surface of all the horror movies that you've seen, Chad. But one of the things that always kind of made me wonder about this film, and kind of in the way I've spaced out watching it over the years, I always like to go back and see if there's a new reference that I didn't get, and I somehow watched whatever it was from since then.
Oh, okay.
Because like I'm certain there's stuff that is funny in this that I don't get just because I haven't seen that particular, it's one of those if you know kind of things. And sure, just like with any good TV show or any good movie, like you have more obvious low hanging fruit that everyone can enjoy, and then you get the really niche jokes that make it super duper funny. I'll use Super Troopers 2 as an example. One of the very first parts in the beginning, Brian Cox is calling, I think, Foster or something. And he answers the phone. He goes, "Hey, Uncle Argyle." And that's Brian Cox's character in Braveheart.
Yeah.
And I laughed. I was the only person in the theater who laughed at that part. There's like 250 people there, and I'm laughing hysterically at that. And even Jess is like, "What on earth?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's funny." So I am curious. Every time I rewatch this movie, I'm curious if I've watched something since the last time I watched it that makes me get a joke I didn't get before.
Nice. Yeah, that number one movie of the year here with Shrek 2. I watched that with my daughter, and there are so many jokes that are pop culture centric to our specific age group. And so when it's talking about suspect fleeing on a white Bronco and there's like
Right.
a helicopter shot,
Oh,
I'm laughing, and my
Right.
daughter's like,
Why is that funny?
What's your problem? I was like,
You
see,
didn't live through OJ.
there was a
So-
really good football player that murdered his wife. She goes, that's not funny. I said,
exactly. There was stuff like that happening when I was a kid where jokes in my jokes were implanted in my children's entertainment for my parents. Did
Yes.
that happen to you guys where
Oh yeah.
yeah, jokes for my adults in my life were implanted in my childhood entertainment where I was confused, would look to the adults in my life and they would be like, "Just ignore it, sweetie."
Yeah. It's like that one's not for you.
Right.
No.
And I'm like, "Well, then why is it in my cartoon?"
And mom and dad need a bone too. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
just make it a little funnier. And I feel like Shrek is really, really bad for that. There's so many things that are just topical. Cabin in the Woods, that was Russell's experience. Russell hadn't seen Evil Dead. And
Oh yeah, that's essential, basically.
He's like, Cabin in the Woods ruined Evil Dead for me. Like, I feel like it would make it better, but I understand needing that reference to make Cabin in the Woods better for you.
Such a good movie.
That's a movie you could probably watch 50 horror movies in order to get everything compiled. Just because I mean, there's Texas Chainsaw, there's zombies,
and there's so many layers to simple jokes like the "I learned it from watching you," and like that's just like. Yeah, I don't know if you've ever started a movie and you've been really unsure if it's going to be like your cup of tea or not, and then one joke just you're like, "Yep, I'm in the right place. This is where I left my car.
I'm home now." Yes.
So,
yeah. All right. Well, are you guys ready to hand out some awards for this?
let's go.
Yes.
We will start with our MVP. It can be a director, actor, or something else. Ainslie, who's your MVP?
I think that has to be Shaun / Simon Pegg. He has to carry it, and if he doesn't do the work, then it all falls apart, not just with the storyline, but everything with his performance. and that's the plot. He's carrying it.
He is fantastic throughout this entire thing. Just the deadpan humor. I love that type of humor. And I mean, British film does it better than anybody else. Bryan, who's your MVP?
I completely agree. I think it's got to be Simon Pegg on this. Although we gushed a lot about the director, so I would not begrudge a director MVP on this either. But Simon Pegg is the driving force in this. He's the character that has to realize something about himself, or at least force himself to become more. He's the guy with the plan. He's the guy everybody else is kind of giving crap to. This movie's on his shoulders. So if he doesn't show up, then the movie doesn't really happen.
Well, I'm glad you won't begrudge me because I went Edgar Wright.
Yeah, totally.
I have this ongoing rule of if everything works for me, I've got to credit the director. Like everything in this movie is just working so well. The commentary is really funny. Every character does their job really well. So Edgar Wright for me, but Simon Pegg he's fantastic. And listening to him talk about this movie, it's kind of sad. They talked about how it was potentially going to go straight to video over here in the US because the studios and the people that would release it to the theater said, we're not going to do this because it's a bunch of no-name actors. Nobody knows who you are over here. Now, Simon Pegg's and all the Mission Impossibles, everybody knows who he is. I feel like Nick Frost has gotten some recognition as well. And Edgar Wright is clearly getting huge opportunities now. But there was some trepidation of just, I don't know that we even released this to American audiences. I wonder if that impacted some of the box office numbers, like some of the theaters didn't pick it up or something like that. Best supporting actor. Ainslie, who'd you go with?
It's hard, but that might have to be. It might have to be okay. It's Nick Frost. If I'm honest with myself, it's Nick Frost.
Doing the monkey.
Yeah, he's just good. He's good at what he does. The reason I was struggling is because Bill Nighy is so entertaining, but he's not a supporting actor.
It's like he is, but he's not in it nearly enough to qualify. And I completely agree with you. I put Nick. I think if you go Simon Pegg as your MVP, then Nick Frost has to be the number 2 on that because it is a. What's the word I'm looking for? I mean, I don't want to use Three Stooges, but it's kind of an essential partnership throughout the film.
Abbott and Costello.
Yeah,
there you go. Abbott and Costello is a great example.
Yeah, it's because Hot Fuzz is a great thing to compare it to, considering that they meant for these to be, kind of tripled together, like these films were made as a threesome. In Hot Fuzz, it is a buddy film on purpose. This film is less of a buddy film than Hot Fuzz, but they are still a duo. So, he has to really be his supportive actor guy here. That's what he's there for.
Yeah.
I love Nick Frost's almost this mischievous twinkle in his eye whenever he's looking at Philip's Jag, and then you come out of the house later on. What happened to the car? Are you? And it's like smoking into a telephone pole. I guess we'll have to take the Jag. He's fantastic. I couldn't help myself. I went with Penelope Wilton. She's Barbara.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Just sweet little mom. She had so much sweetness, and she's kind of a on-screen answer for why Shaun is the way he is, because you can tell that she's just doting. Her son doesn't really do anything wrong. She's clearly a little disappointed, but still gonna make you a sandwich or do whatever.
Mm-hmm. And talk about deadpan. Her performance is definitely underappreciated because she's able to be so subtle with that comedy. She's a perfect match for Simon Pegg with being his mother and kind of being the tree that he fell from.
Yeah, 100%. And just her entire response of being bitten when it gets revealed, she's like, I didn't want to make him sad. I didn't want to bum him out.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Everything's
Huge
fine.
chunk of her arm missing. It's pretty gruesome. But yeah, it's just a microcosm of this sweet coddling that she's done throughout the movie. And I buy into, she's the cool mom. She's the mom you want to hang out with and everybody loves. Ed clearly gets along. It's not this relationship where she's mad at her son for his idiot friend. She seems to have
has
a good
fed him
relationship.
many meals.
It's Lindsay's mom. Shout out to Lindsay's mom.
Yeah, it really is. Hidden gem, Ainslie. There's a ton of unique things in this film.
That one can be Bill Nighy.
Okay, Philip, not his dad.
Not his dad. Yeah.
I'm gonna give Bill his nod here in a few, but I'm gonna go with Pete on this. I love Pete. The two biggest detractors from this film are two actors not having more screen time. And for Pete, because I don't really know the guy that well, it's more the character that I'm desiring. With Bill, it's more like I like you and I want you to be in this more. So, but yeah, Pete's character is hilarious, and I truly wish he was just in it just a little bit more.
I feel like you've been on both sides of that scene where Pete is yelling at them for it's 4 a.m. in the morning. Like you
Yes.
have been.
It's 4 a.m. in the morning.
I have both been Pete and been yelled at by a Pete. Yes, that is correct.
I mean, I have to mention Martin Freeman. I completely.
What is Martin Freeman doing in this movie? I love it. I love it.
It is pretty great.
It is a completely pointless cameo that he's just supposed to be like.
But here's the thing: let's say, if I were an Alan Trudeau kind of person, like well known, well liked, I would have my agent be like, "Hey, listen, there's like a dozen things and people that I'll stick my face in it. You don't even have to pay me." And I feel like that, like when you hit that level, like that's the jackpot level of acting where you can be like, "Hey, can you just make me a stormtrooper or something? Give me like 5 seconds to run down a hallway. They don't even know it's me. It's fine." Like Daniel Craig did.
Yeah.
Like
He did
stuff
do
like
that, didn't he?
Yeah. So it's just, it's stuff like that, just to be like, yeah, I was in a Star Wars movie. Like
I forgot he did
where
that.
you've really hit the big time when you can insinuate yourself cheaply into other people's movies just for fun.
Just
And
because you want to be in it.
1000% do that. Like I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt and Deadpool 2.
Matt Damon and Eurotrip.
Yes.
Like it's honestly one of his most iconic scenes for me. And I'm sure it was hey, wouldn't it be funny if Matt Damon was this punk rocker? So I love it. It's so much fun. Yeah. So anyway, I get it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Totally that came on my radio the other day. Scotty doesn't know. And my daughter's in the car and I'm singing along to it. And she's just like, "What is this?" I'm like, "I'll show you when you're older."
That's right. That happened so long ago. I forgot that it happened. That's right.
Like if I were any member of the Fellowship from the Lord of the Rings movies, I would have an apartment in New Zealand and I would make a point to show up in the Shire, I don't know, once a month just for fun, give people high fives. Yeah, I saw that. That's actually why I brought it up. So
the people having the wedding in Hobbiton or whatever, and he like runs up and
yeah. So I would do that. Like that's the kind of stuff I would do. Like, oh yeah, just pop in every once in a while. Show up.
I mean, Ian McKellen can show up whenever.
100%.
Yeah, never late. Precisely when he means to.
And he gets to use that line for the rest of his life.
Uh-huh.
And everybody's got to be like, "Ha Gandalf."
I love the shirt with I'm Gandalf and Magneto, deal with it.
Yeah.
That's a flex. Yeah, I went with Pete as well. His real name is Peter Serafinowicz, and that
I wasn't going to try.
Yeah, I I'm giving it my best shot. I love the rant because I have solely been on the side of it's 4 a.m. Please shut up. I have to sleep. Like that was just cathartic for me. And the running gag too of shut the front door.
Yes, yes, that is fantastic. But I'll also I want to add a third part to this. I've been Pete. I've been the people that Pete's yelled at, but I've also been Pete, gone to yell, and ended up opening a beer and sitting down and hanging with the people instead of getting
You,
upset about it.
you can be
So
both in one day.
yeah, it's like at some point it becomes a if you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bill Nighy's definitely a great pick as well. I love everything about Philip, and it's nice that he gets the most emotional turn in the entire movie. Like he gets to flex his acting chops a little bit and his death rattles, and then gets to be a silly zombie that turns off music. I do love the fact that he's dying and still taking the entire time in the car to yell about Ed's music and turning it down. Recast. This is going to be interesting. Ainsley, who are you recasting in the $6 million budget movie?
If I really had to, I just don't. Maybe it's why I don't believe their reunion at the end. I would recast his girlfriend, Liz. There's just not enough chemistry between them. It doesn't even have to be someone famous. I just don't believe that they're a couple even in the first place. And if they're really going to have them try to get back together in the end, at least have them have chemistry. If
Okay.
I don't dislike the actress, they just don't seem to really like each other, honestly.
I agree with that. She is also my recast. There's a severity about her that I think does clash a little bit, and I went a little bit more like Michelle Williams because I feel like you can still get the look they were going for, the short
There you go.
blonde, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I just felt like she needed to be a little doughier.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Get some Halloween H2O. I mean, this is a big period for Michelle Williams.
Yeah.
I went with Dylan Moran, who plays David, and I actually think he did a great job. I wanted to punch him from about the minute I saw him on screen.
Punchable.
Very
Very
punchable face.
intensely punchable face.
But I mean, if we're recasting, I think I'm putting Colin Farrell in here, which I
Oh, that
guess
would be funny.
He's
it
punchable too.
makes Frye happy, and I can see Colin Farrell just doubling down on being an absolute jerk.
Yeah, and I'd almost want an In Bruges Colin Farrell,
Mm-hmm.
like
Good at instigating.
yes, and in the somewhat hapless, careless way he speaks on things. Like
Yeah.
it's a very specific Colin Farrell that needs to be in there, or Banshees of Inisherin, and one of the it's the same director, but that same character, the slightly
Angry and
befuddled.
accusatory.
Well, he's kind of befuddled. Like I'm not going to call him a moron, but he's he's not the brightest crayon on the box, and
There you go.
it's just I don't know. It adds to the comedic timing of this movie to have the
Someone you don't
more...
want in charge.
Yes, truly.
But who desperately wants to be. Best shot. Looking back through this, I actually think this is a better shot movie than I ever imagined studying it. Ainsley, what's your best shot?
There's a lot to choose from. There's so many. And I think it was tough. I was torn between moments where he is holding the gun with his mother. And there's also moments where he's in the basement in the bar, where Shaun is in the basement in the bar. There's very dramatic moments there. But I think I'd have to go again. I return back to that moment where he's with his mother. That really, I think, is one of the stronger moments in the film, and some of the best shots.
Yeah, being able to depict the indecision on Shaun's face. Like he knows what he has to do.
Yes.
But what a lousy thing to do.
Yes, with no dialogue and very little movement, those shots convey huge amounts of everything.
Love it. Bryan, what's your best shot?
I'm going to go with them facing each other in the dark with the zombie down between the middle of them. I feel like it's one of the more iconic scenes from the movie, but I feel like that really sums up what you're getting into.
I do enjoy that. You mentioned kind of the zombie fake outs. One of mine is just the simplicity of the door frame, and you get the shuffling feet, and it's a low shot of the feet, and it slowly pans up, and it's just Shaun's morning routine, and he's yawning and moaning like a zombie, but it kind of sets you up for the tone of this movie perfectly. So I I enjoy. We revisit that. We get that towards the end as well. After it all blows over, we have Shaun doing his morning routine in the zombie shot again. So enjoy that shot. Best scene, Ainsley.
There's at first I thought this was my best shot, but I realized it's actually my best scene. It's the very, very end. It's the closing scene of the film where where he joins Ed in the shed and it pulls out on them kind of gently and you get really the full picture of what's going on. And because it's not just the shot, it's the whole closure of the scene. And it's really poignant from the plot point and the acting. And I think it's because of the slow buildup, because there's several points in the previous maybe 60 seconds where you think it is the final shot of the film, but it's not. And then you arrive there. And I think that's another thing that makes it such a good film.
Shaun is just rolling with all of it too.
Yeah.
Ed attempts to bite him, and he's just like, "No, no, we're not going to do this." And then just zombie Ed
Yep.
enjoying his video games, and there's almost a smile to zombie Ed.
Mhm.
Sweet and problematic, and probably leads to further apocalypse. But I totally could see, yeah, if corporate can take advantage of something, they're absolutely going to do it. Bryan, what's your best scene?
I'm going to go with the leaving the apartment to zombie Bill Nighy. That chunk is probably one of the most entertaining parts of the movie for me.
Okay.
Because you get him getting out of the Jag. It's all of that.
All the child locks.
Yes.
Child locks, really? I went with the vinyl tossing scene. To me, it's funny enough throwing vinyl at their heads and just missing for the most part, but the thunks that they get off of these extras. But the fact that they're rifling through to determine which vinyls they can and cannot toss just makes it so much better. And the discussion back and forth, they're monsters descending on them. But no, you can't throw that. It's important.
Yep.
Bryan's got his vinyl collection.
I do. And my wife absolutely hates it. And I did. I tried really hard to stay away from it for so long. And my folks decided to move to Florida, and they were like, "Hey, do you want our records?" I was like, "Yep,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I do."
Mm-hmm. Just slow collection.
I just had mine stolen, and there's an APB on my social media. Go find them, everybody.
If you're listening to this, first of all, if you stole Ainslie's vinyl, please return them.
You suck so bad.
You do suck. But if you know,
and you're a moving company, and you know what you did. So,
no.
But anyway, that's not why we're here. Keep going.
Yeah, definitely not cool.
Who steals vinyl collections? Don't do that. Hipster moving companies. All right. Best wardrobe or makeup moment. A lot of fun stuff in this.
You could pick endless ones, honestly. And I think I might have done this so that I didn't have to pick just one. The one that's most impactful for me is when you see the crowd outside of the Winchester, purely because of the volume, but also because it looks so good. because it's in such big volume and it looks good, because it could look bad because they had to do so many, but it doesn't. It looks really good. And that's impressive in itself. That's one of the things that, again, makes it really good, because they got these details. They got these details right, I think. I have a moderate amount of experience in theatrical makeup, but not for film. I'm not able to do horror makeup for film. It's hard and it's easy to get wrong. And they didn't get it wrong.
Yeah, they look great. And I love that scene where Shaun looks over and to determine how many there are, and they ask, and just his face drops. It's like, lots,
Yes.
lots. That leads to a really fun scene, the fake zombie walk. And the discussion of who can do it better, and fantastic. Bryan, what's your best wardrobe or makeup?
I'm just gonna go with the iconic red tie and white shirt. Like that
It's
is
so
Shaun of the Dead.
simple.
Yeah, it's like you could literally, like, someone could walk into the store tomorrow as that's their Halloween costume, and I'd be like, oh, Shaun of the Dead. Like, that's how recognizable it has become.
Yeah, that's all I did, and most of the people at the party knew exactly who I was. I went sort of with that of the red ink pen. I just feel like that's the perfect touch for a running gag of every single person he encounters until the end when he's got all this zombie blood. Is you've got red on you. Just fantastic running gag. Change one thing. Ainsley, what are you changing about this movie?
I don't think they should get back together in the end.
No.
No, I think
Okay.
they should have their own lives. It's fine. I don't even care if Ed is in the shed. Ed can still be chained up in the shed. I just think, like, Liz should get her own apartment. And Liz can still be in the movie. I don't even care. Just, like, they don't need to get back together.
Okay. All right. These are not meant for each other.
I
Like
don't think
that's honest.
so. Yeah.
No. I mean, maybe Diane survives. Like she's gone through and swung the leg and somehow made it through the zombie horde. She's
Maybe.
fine. Her and Shaun emerge as newer or better people. Sure. She's now over David. All right. All right. Bryan, what are you changing?
I need more Bill. I
Okay.
wish he was in it more. That's really, he and Pete. I think I would have rather. I mean, I know David's part in this is taxing as it is, but I would have liked to have maybe had, call it 20 more minutes in the middle of the movie to have some more funny quips with Bill and Pete.
It would have been interesting had he been involved in the planning to get to the Winchester,
Right.
and just having to accept the fact that Shaun's stupid plan sort of works to at least get them in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could totally see that. We talked about it earlier. For me, I think you can tone down just how obnoxious Ed is and still have it be funny. Like, he doesn't have to be 100% abrasive all the time to still be a loser friend. Like, we can get the gist of it and just have
And
more
then
likable.
you could give that time to other characters.
Yeah, I mean, you could have Philip be the jerk. He can stand in and get a little more Bill Nighy time.
There you go.
Bryan, I got to start with you on best quote because I'm intrigued now of what you were struggling with no profanity. So, what sanitized quote have you chosen?
I'm not gonna read the whole thing because there are a couple in there, but it is Shaun and Pete's conversation where you quoted it earlier, where he says, like, that was me, about the weed. So that it's hysterical to me. So he's like, come on, out of the two of you, referencing Ed, like, you are the only one that's going to ever amount to something, but you've got to get, you got to get out of this. But it's the best of Pete.
Okay. Yeah. He hasn't sold anything in months. Sold weed to you.
A little bit of puff.
Yeah. Ainsley, what's your best quote?
I mean, the Winchester line is iconic, maybe
Yeah.
like the most iconic, but the Kill Phil line is funnier. The take hard, go to mom's, kill Phil.
Yes.
And I don't know why I don't have a to-do list with that like on the top, but I feel like I should.
In the event you get raided by any form of law enforcement, it's probably incriminating. They're going to start, like, do you know
Yeah,
a Phil?
maybe that's why people don't have it. Maybe that's why it's not merch.
Yeah.
It's the Billy Madison, like, just put on lipstick and cross out names on
People to
list.
kill.
Yes.
Take card, go to mom's, kill Phil. Why do you have this in your car?
No
I don't know
reason.
anybody named Phil.
Yep. No reason. No reason whatsoever.
No reason.
I have to go with the classic. You've got red on you. Love it. Love the running gag. Ainslie, do you have anything to plug before we go into the ratings and reviews?
Someone might want to look out for a stolen record collection that's out there. Kind of kidding, but not really. No, you can find me at ainsliecaswell.com, and anything that I might be up to is over there. Some of which includes I might be available for audio commissions, and I am curating my art line.
Very
Right on.
nice. Definitely check that out. Well, we've come full circle and it's time for our ratings and our recommendations on a 0 to 5 star with half-star increments, unless you're Bryan Frye. Ainslie, what are you giving this movie?
I also tried to break the rules last time I was here, so that includes me too.
Oh, no.
That's okay. I
Two
was
rule breakers. No.
no, I was corrected quickly. I think we can give this a solid 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent rating. Now, Bryan refuses our half-star increments. He just weights our year-end rankings every single time. There's no half stars.
I feel like you should be able to commit.
You can commit. You can say it's almost perfect by having a 4.5. That's what that's there for.
I gave this a 4-star. This is a great movie. I've never been like, oh, I wish I didn't watch Shaun of the Dead. So it's always a good choice. It doesn't really matter what your mood is. If you're in a bad mood, this will put you in a good mood. If you're in a good mood, it'll put you in a great mood. It's a fun movie.
I feel like my wife did have the reaction of, I wish I hadn't watched Shaun of the Dead.
Well, in revenge for my mother dragging me to see Sense and Sensibility when I was a kid, I drug her to see Austin Powers, which she said was, in fact, the dumbest movie she had ever seen in her entire life. However, decade later, maybe longer, I get a phone call from her, and I was like, "What's up?" And she goes, "I just watched Austin Powers again, and that movie was hysterical." She's like, "I don't know." She's like, "I don't know what, it just caught me at the wrong time or what." And I was like, "Okay, well, did you have a few glasses of wine before you watched it this time?" And she's like, "Yes." And I was like, "That is the difference right there. You gotta be willing to let the stupid, wash over you. You can't go into it like, I gotta take my kid to see a stupid kid movie."
Can I say
Yeah.
that somehow the math on Sense and Sensibility and Austin Powers being the opposite of that somehow makes sense, though?
Yes. Yeah. I've never been so bored in a movie. I have actively avoided Jane Austen since then. It falls under one of those, like, if we ever have a dealer's choice or something, I'll be like, yeah, I watched it.
So hell for you is being strapped to a chair and being shown Jane Austen films.
Yes, over and over again. Yeah,
Awesome.
that would be brutal.
Okay.
Pride and Prejudice is rough, but Pride and Prejudice and Zombies is better.
Agreed.
The book is really fascinating because
I actually did. I read the book. Yeah,
it's Jane Austen prose, but then there's just
zombies
in the middle of it.
It's kind of like how I always talked about Seth Graham Jones' Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Yeah.
It is literally a historical work. Just everything bad that ever happened to him, they attribute to vampires instead of what
a
actually
secret
happened.
society. Yeah, it's
So yeah, it's interesting. So,
written with a very serious tone that
yeah,
turned some people off. They're like, "This was supposed to be funny." I'm like, "It is funny.
it is funny. You just gotta
you've got to read it like a Max Burns documentary." Well, I went 5 stars. This is one of my favorite movies of all time. I think it's brilliant. It's something I keep coming back to, and I hadn't revisited it in a couple of years. So, like Bryan said, it put me in a better mood. I was already in a good
yes.
mood going into it. Love it. So, thank you so much, Ainslie, for shortlisting this. Well, Bryan, we're gonna shift tones, and this makes me sad. But it's starting a different season. There's apparently no holidays in between Halloween and Christmas. So, is this the Nightmare Before Christmas? We're gonna go.
I saw a great tweet the other day that I'll have to paraphrase it because I don't actually remember it verbatim. But basically, it said something along the lines of, "We furthermore must insist that Christmas stay in the month of December. You must abide by the Black Friday agreement," or something
I
like that.
I
I
agree.
saw a Christmas tree in someone's bay window today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It needs to stop.
It's
Like
a disease.
Halloween
Yes.
hadn't even ended, and they had all the Christmas stuff up in like Lowe's and Home
Yeah.
Depot. And
I'm like, how did you even accomplish that?
Bryan's gonna
I
be listening to Mariah Carey for like
no,
2 extra
no,
months.
God, no.
The memes are brilliant. The ones where her voice is just echoing in the distance.
Yeah,
Or Michael Bublé emerging
it's
from
funny.
his cave.
I you can cut this out because I'm
I'm not
gonna
going
curse. But at one point in time, I walked into work. It was a intermediate song. It wasn't like specifically Christmas, but it was kind of there. And then the next song was a Michael Bublé Christmas song, and I made it back into the break room, and I just sighed, looked at the floor, and I go, "Fuck you, Bubble."
to. I mean, I just want to point out like there are Thanksgiving movies. So
Yeah,
one day we
yeah.
will do Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
I will
Yes.
force this
Thanksgiving.
just like I forced Leprechaun onto the show, and I think Russell's still mad about it.
Oh,
But
no.
we are going to go from zombies to tidings of comfort and joy next week here on the round table. So this is a short list for Christmas. Hang those stockings with care, raise the mistletoe, get ready for one of these holiday classics. I hate reading that so much. Option number 1, White Christmas from 1954. A successful song and dance team become romantically involved with a sister act and team up to save the failing Vermont Inn with their former commanding general. Option 2, It's a Wonderful Life from 1946. Still not a Christmas movie. I will die on this hill. An angel is sent from heaven to help a desperately frustrated businessman by showing him what life would have been like if he had never existed. Or option 3, A Christmas Carol from 1951. Ebenezer Scrooge, a curmudgeonly, miserly businessman, has no time for sentimentality and largely views Christmas as a waste of time. However, this Christmas Eve he will be visited by 3 spirits who will show him the error of his ways. Bryan, what episode will I not be allowed to participate on?
1000% option 2. But I gotta tell you, as a person who gets subjected to It's a Wonderful Life once a year at bare minimum, I've got so much lag on, or jet lag on that film now. Like it's lost meaning to me at this point. I've seen it so many times, and it's not. It was never something that I looked forward to watching because I knew it would be insisted upon me. So I've got, it's not hate. It's not hate. I want to be very clear about that. It's a lovely movie. I understand why it's classic, but it's the second you start telling me I have to watch Die Hard at a specific time every year, that loses something.
It
for
stops
Die Hard.
being fun. Yeah.
It's got to be my choice. I have to elect that to happen. So
Yeah. We don't need this synchronized New Year's falling off Nakatomi Plaza all of that stuff. Like, let's
So
not
if
over-engineer this.
if TNT showed Die Hard for 24 hours every Christmas, would it start to lose its shine?
Yeah,
Hmm.
frankly,
Yeah.
like
All right.
here's the thing. I don't watch live TV enough to where its presence would bother me, if that makes sense. Like
True.
they could do it and I would never know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Accurate.
So, but it's kind of like we'll use the 007 Days of Christmas. I just liked knowing it was there. And I
Yes.
always plan, I was like, yeah, I'm going to watch some of them and whatever. But it was never like, all right, it's time for a marathon of this. It was always, oh yeah, Bond's on right now. It's like Shark Week. It's just good to
Yeah.
know it's there.
Mm-hmm.
I did appreciate the marathons of A Christmas Story because I always catch like 2/3 of it, and which 2/3 I'll get.
That's what's enjoyable about it. I like that.
My wife is always also in a better mood if Hallmark Christmas movies are available. So I feel like that too is a benefit to the holiday season.
You talk about Michael Bublé. Hallmark is a plague upon my house.
Oh dear.
I mean, I don't really watch two, although I've sat down and watched a couple and I've been like, oh, that's nice.
I have seen an appalling amount of them, and they're all the same plot point of a city woman comes back to hometown and finds lumberjack, carpenter, or whatever else profession.
Oh, do you still live in this town?
He has a thriving coffee shop, Chad.
Sure. I mean,
it's all a variation on the dude who owns the restaurant in Gilmore Girls.
Okay.
Luke's. It's all a variation of Luke.
Your place of employment today, and there were like 3 separate romance sections. I had no idea sports romance was now a thing.
It's huge, specifically hockey.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Where we get such titles as Pucked Up or Pucking Around.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like...
I believe that. When I was narrating romance books, billionaire romance was a very popular genre, and I'm sure it still is. But I was narrating books. I was narrating several series that centralized specifically around women falling in love with or being courted by billionaires.
Nice.
So a whole lot of Christian Grey.
Stuff like that. It was trying to be that. To be that, yeah. And but also cowgirl type stuff. I was commissioned or hired to do a few times. Cowgirl, Southern type stuff. I found my cowboy type of storylines.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
like Nicholas Sparks, The Last Ride type stuff.
Yeah, I think he does more romantic. He does romantic.
Actual romance instead of horny.
Well, Sparks is more what I would call like it's fiction with a romantic
bent
interest.
It's usually a horrible disease. Couple romance.
Really, this is obviously I'm a layman to a certain degree because I don't read romance, but I am around it a lot. So because of what I do for a living. You have contemporary romance, so that's where you're getting all the sports covers and stuff like that. They're usually fairly comic book looking on the outside, and they may or may not be spicy.
Yeah, it's got the same illustrator, but there were 6 different authors.
100%. And there aren't that many publishers of it, so they find a formula that works, and then they all hit it like as best they can. You have your more classic romance. That's going to be your Highlander in a kilt, cowboy, cowgirl, Harlequin, that sort of thing. And then you get the dark stuff. And the covers are dark, and the content is dark, and the trigger warnings are numerous.
It was a separate section. It was like dark romance. And
that's the third avenue of romance. So those are the big 3.
Yeah, it's quite the rabbit trail from Christmas episode.
Romance is vast, and I'm shocked it's never gotten more specific categories over the years, but yeah, saying romance is usually not enough to specify what's inside the book.
Oh yeah, and I've got a couple booksellers that would classify the crap out of the section to the point where we would be so micro-genred it would be insane. But yeah.
Cryptid romance.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yep. Sadly aware. Sadly. All right.
The,
Well,
mo- the most disturbing one I've seen that's come through the store is a Veggie Tales spicy romance.
Yep. Yeah.
Just do
I
what
think
you
you
want with
mentioned
that.
that, and that makes me sad. Yeah, that makes me very, very sad. Bob and Larry don't deserve that. All right. Well, thank you, Ainslie. Thank you for joining us again. Thank you, Bryan. Thank you, all the lords, ladies, and knights of the Retro Movie Roundtable. We want to invite you to reach out to us. We want to hear from you. So please subscribe, rate, review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Pandora, wherever you get us. 5-star reviews really help us out. 1 star is less so. Please don't do that. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a like on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at movie_retro. Email us at retromovieroundtable@yahoo.com. And remember that producing and providing this podcast is fun, but it's not free. So we invite you to support the show at our Patreon page at www.patreon.com/retromovieroundtable. Any contribution is much appreciated and goes towards making the show better for you, the listeners. As always, thank you guys for listening. Be good to each other and watch more movies. Bryan?
Hiya, kids. Here's an important message from Uncle Bill. Don't buy drugs. Become a pop star, they'll give them to you for free.